If you haven't made any progress since the last time that you checked in last month on this goal, this is your reminder. This is your kick in the behind. This is your red flag that you are not actively working towards your goals and that you need to adjust and pivot to make sure that you're actually actively, consistently, and daily working towards each of your 30 goals. So if you want to become a Vixen, or whatever version of a Vixen means to you, then I implore you to follow the Vixen Method, to give yourself the time that you deserve. And that time doesn't have to be an immense amount of time daily. It can be 10 minutes a day. And in 10 minutes a day, you can take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. In a previous post, I talked about your 10 life spheres and how to break them down into measurable goals. Today, we're going to talk about how the Vixen Method takes an ordinary person and turns them into a daily Vixen. A daily Vixen takes time to invest in herself, to become the best version of herself, to become someone that everyone wants to know and everyone wants to be. If you take your 30 goals from the last exercise that we talked about, you can see the previous post, you're going to be able to take 10 minutes per day on a monthly basis to track your progress. Take each goal and randomly put it into a calendar for the month. Take 3 health and wellness goals and put them on the 1st of the month, the 10th of the month, and the 27th of the month. Take your personal and professional development and put them on the 12th of the month, the 15th of the month, and the 21st of the month. Do not lump each of your 3 goals in any contact and life sphere together, because that means that you aren't going to be checking in on that specific life sphere for approximately 27 days. You want to make sure that you're consistently leveling up on each one of these life spheres so that you can get that 10 out of 10, 100% full plate life that you've always wanted to, and transform yourself into a Vixen, into a baddie, into the full package, into the girl that everyone wants to know. Take those 10 life spheres and those 30 goals and focus on them on 10 minutes per day to see yourself transform. So now let's break that down and what it actually looks like on a day-to-day basis. So let's say today we are going to be analyzing our first goal within our travel. Our first goal, let's say, is that we want to book 1 international trip per year, and you have to be able to figure out how you're going to, 1, afford it. 2, you can figure it out into your time off requests, that you're going to have someone to go with, or that you're comfortable traveling alone. And you probably have to figure out where internationally you're going to travel. So on today, if that's the goal that you're analyzing in the Vixen Method, you're going to take that goal and see where you are within your planning progress. Have you booked the tickets? Have you picked the location? Have you secured the funds? Have you figured out who's going with you? Have you figured out when you're going to take it? It's these 10 minutes that you're going to actually take to make sure you're staying on track with that specific goal. If you haven't made any progress since the last time that you checked in last month on this goal, this is your reminder. This is your kick in the behind. This is your red flag that you are not actively working towards your goals and that you need to adjust and pivot to make sure that you're actually actively, consistently, and daily working towards each of your 30 goals. But for today's purposes, this is when you say, okay, I haven't made any progress in 30 days. What's hindering me? Have I not figured out my financial planning goals to be able to set aside specific amounts of money to have money in the slush fund for travel? Is it that I am too afraid to travel alone? Is it that you need to have a professional or a personal development that you are okay traveling alone and that you just need to bite the bullet and book the trip? In these 10 minutes, it is your time to really dive deep into what is holding you back in achieving this goal. Or you could come down today and say, I'm killing it. I've already selected that we're going to Indonesia this year. I've confirmed the time off with my partner. I have selected the dates. I've ensured that we have enough time off, and all we have to do is select the specific city in Indonesia and that we have to book the hotel, but we've already designated those times off on both of our calendars and we're good to go. Every single time you sit down in those 10 minutes, you're analyzing whether or not you're a 1 to a 10, meaning that you're absolutely not satisfied with where you are with this goal, or you're killing it and you just need to stay on that high level plane each and every single time that you have a follow-up on this specific goal. That is what every single day of the Vixen Method looks like. It takes a very short period of time that you can commit to yourself and that you can commit to your goals. Yes, there are going to be other harder goals to be able to look back on. If you're trying to see if you've met 10,000 steps, you've got to analyze 30 days. But if you're tracking it every single day and you sit down on the day that falls on your calendar for 10,000 step day check-in, and you see that you've met it in 27 out of 30 days, that specific progress and that specific excelling at your goal is what's going to keep you absolutely motivated to continue doing it day in and day out, to ultimately get you to that life of being more healthy and that your legs are looking toned and that you are physically capable of doing the things that you've always wanted to. But sitting down and seeing your progress is what keeps you motivated. Sitting down and seeing where you've had some hiccups or you've had some failures and adjusting and pivoting to make sure that you can rocket forward towards better progress next month is what's going to keep you honest and is what's going to keep you progressing. Because if you can be honest with yourself to say, I did not do well this month, I'm going to do better, you're going to continue to stay motivated. It's these 10-minute check-ins that's going to keep you on the path of reaching that extraordinary life. It's this 10-minute conversation that's going to determine whether or not you need to adjust your goals. It's going to determine whether or not you have shot too little in your goals, that you didn't think that you could achieve enough, and that maybe you need to expand these goals. It's just 10 minutes per day, and everyone has it. Everyone wants to give themselves the excuse that I just simply do not have time. I am too busy. I hear that day in, day out from my employees, from my family members, from my friends. But the truth of the matter is, that's a lie. Everyone has 10 minutes. And what's more important is if you want to be a Vixen, these 10 minutes that you're going to give to yourself every day is going to be just the tip of the iceberg, because you're going to learn as you start to achieve more and more of your goals that a Vixen puts herself first, that a Vixen understands that by investing in herself and educating herself and that making decisions that further her wants and desires is going to actually make her a much happier partner, a much better mother, a much better employee, a much better boss, because she's going to be happier with herself, and therefore she's going to be a much better person to everyone around her. So I implore you, take these 10 minutes every single day to follow the Vixen Method, to follow up on your measurable goals, to check in on your calendared check-ins every single day to ensure that your goals, one, are sufficient to meet your needs, that you're not underscoring your actual abilities, that you've not overshot your goals, and that you need to adjust and pivot and maybe pare back and think, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I did this for the wrong reasons. Maybe I did it because it was trendy. Maybe I really need to dive deeper and say, this really isn't important to me because I took 30 days where I didn't focus on it, not one time. And so the Vixen Method is going to retrain your brain to be honest with yourself, not to sell yourself short, and to reach for the stars. Follow the Vixen Method, see the progress, become the woman you've always wanted to be.